so sorry about all the delays and the errors and the hiccups and everything, guys. I'm terribly sorry about all the problems that we've been having, but looks like we got it sorted out and got everything up and running. I do want to say in the semifinals, BLord took Dark out at 2-0, meaning that the grand finals is going to be Lucky versus BLord, and we're going to be jumping into that game momentarily. Just want to thank you guys for sticking with me. Thank you guys for all the hosts and the follows. Please continue to support ESL. We got many more cups coming for 2017. Like I said, this is the last cup of the year, the StarCraft 2 Christmas Cup for 2016. Thank you again, guys, so much for tuning in. I appreciate you all. Let's jump into the game. So it's going to be the best of 5, ladies and gentlemen. Is going to be starting off on Overgrowth. It is our green Protoss player from Psistorm Gaming. It is Lucky. And spawning in our top right position, it is our red Zerg player. It is BLord. And what is he doing? It looks like Lucky is just trying to be as annoying as humanly possible with probing around. Basically, he's probing around his probe. And there's a lot of links coming out. As we saw, BLord got a very quick ling spawning pool. What he's going to try to do, Lucky is going to try to block this off. Keep as much as he can right there, and he probably needs to pull another probe out. This Zealot is going to get out just in time and is going to move into purpose positioning. A couple more seconds and those lings would have caused a bad day. The lings don't want to come back too far, and that Zealot doesn't want to get too far out of place for the obvious reason. But that pylon is about to drop. 2 pylons get dropped just in the nick of time, but they're going to do so much damage to this pylon right here. What's going to happen now is that the gateway is not powered. So what's going to happen now is that the second Zealot's not going to be able to get out in time. There we go. Is it going to be out in just enough time? There's still too much damage to it. And here's a great big old hole right there. Pylon overcharge does come out, gets everything out of the way. And just a quick blow to Lucky, and BLord is going to push ahead just a little bit behind this. He's going to get some drones. And that was a very patient play by Lucky. He didn't overcommit to anything like that, and he just calmly handled the situation. Lucky is definitely blocking off of BLord's third, making sure he's not doing 3 bases behind this. BLord is in such a good position that he's just going to try to expand from behind this. And I just heard my wife scream with joy because she sees that the stream is back on. Alright guys, we see a couple more. What is this? Is it going to be a proxy hatch? Or is this drone just misplaced? What is BLord about to do right now? Is he going to proxy hatch? That would be freaking absolutely amazing. Just to get the creep spread. It is. He's going to put a proxy hatch right in the middle of the map. And this probe is... Oh, yeah. Oh, that's what he's doing. Hatch to cancel to get the creep tumor on it. To spread the coming. That's pretty tricky. Pylon blocking. And Lucky looks like he's definitely standing after this. Nothing too crazy coming down from either player. Warp gate research is completed. That was a cool little trick move to get the creep spread all the way across the map. I wonder if Lucky's like, what the heck was that? But that is a lot of creep spread for BLord, and not too many people utilize it as much as they probably should, especially in these random tournaments that we have, just to get as much spread down there as possible. The one tumor goes north, one tumor goes south until they spread it back to each other's base. again, Lucky is just seeing that it's going to be a 2-base all-in with these roach plays, so Lucky's got to be feeling pretty good about the positioning that he's in. We do see the Dark Templar, the Dark Shrine, which is the Templar Shrine, finishing up from Lucky. War Prism is about to finish as well. Well, let's take a quick peek at the view of BLord. BLord definitely does not see it. And you can see the train creep that's just across the map now. I mean, he's got so much creep. It's basically going to be at the doorstep. And here comes the War Prism. War Prism is going to be in such a good position that there's really not much that BLord's going to be able to do from behind this. If you look, he's going to warp in the Dark Templars here. He's going to be able to defend these roach. He's going to defend this roach account. Roach attack very well. One Dark Templar goes north, the other one goes south. Both of them are going to try to do as much damage as they can, but there are roaches in here, and there are queens, and the queens are going to do so much damage. Here comes Corrosive Battle, land atop the pylon. Pylon is about to get dropped. Pylon's dropped. There's really nothing left here. Mothership Core is completely out of position. DTs come in and fight this army really well. DTs doing so much damage. War Prism picks it up, but here comes another attack. Going across this, there's really nothing here for Lucky. Lucky doesn't have that much left. More DTs. Overseer showing the DT. Here comes a Stalker to try to stop this as well. What happened to the Mothership Core? Here comes a Mothership Core. Mothership Core has full energy. Here comes a Pylon Overcharge. Pylon Overcharge is about to land on top of these both pylons. They're going to focus them down. The Ravagers are staying here. They're taking so much damage. Another TT gets dropped into this army. Zella is trying to fight it. More Stalkers are coming in. And here comes a Archon. Archon's just kind of holding back. What they want to do is try to attack as much as they can. But BLord is doing so much damage. Lucky is getting absolutely destroyed. These Ravagers are coming in. Corrosive Battle landing on top of everything. Archon's still here fighting with it. More Zealots getting warped in on the top. And this is a huge, huge push from BLord, but I don't know if he's going to be able to sustain all of it. This Archon's doing so much damage, and he's actually going to be pushed back. Lucky, who got pulled all his probes, lost it. He lost 22 probes. But here comes more Ravagers, more Roaches coming across the map, and I don't know if Lucky's going to be able to hold this. He's on one base practically at the moment. He hasn't been able to do much. The Archon being dropped and trying to do as much damage as he can. Archon's completely gone. There's a couple more Zealots left, but I think this is going to be it. There's really nothing left for him. Lucky, and it looks like that's just going to be a GG's going to get called. And BLord takes game number 1 in this best of 5. And Lucky GG's out, and game number 1 goes to BLord. And that was a very quick game from BLord. He's just super aggressive with those Roaches and those Ravagers. Oh, sorry guys for the in-game sound. So we got a couple. We have the games being made right now, guys. Well, I'll let you know what the map is. Again, I just want to thank you all for tuning in and all the support you guys have been showing me. You guys have been freaking awesome. And I love the Twitter shout-outs and the Twitch tags and all that. You guys are awesome. And I appreciate all the hosts and basically everything that you guys have been doing. You guys have been awesome. Appreciate it so much. Again, guys, if you want to find out anything about me, just follow me on Twitter, follow me on Twitch, all that good stuff. Follow me on YouTube. Getting YouTube content out daily. Thank you guys so much. And we're going to be jumping into game number 2 here momentarily. Of course, I want to thank ESL and all the admins for everything they do and maintaining these tournaments and all that great stuff. And I appreciate it so much, you guys. You have no idea. I'm surprised there hasn't been any UFC spoilers from tonight. No, I don't want your pop-ups. Why do people send me stupid pop-ups? Alright guys, let's be jumping into game number 2. of a best of 5. This is for the finals of the ESL Christmas Cup, spawning in our bottom left position. It is the green Protoss player. It is Lucky. And spawning in our bottom right position, it is our red Zerg player. It is BLord. We saw in game 1 how quickly Lucky lost the lead that he had. Just a couple of bad positionings, bad engagements, and lost to a lot of Ravagers coming at his base. Really, oh, he blocked it! How annoying! Super annoying pylon, but looks like BLord is not going to go for that early aggression that we saw in game number 1. We saw in game number 1 BLord drop down the spawning pool before second base, but we look at 3 bases in around a minute. I mean, that's only going to happen in Legacy, and BLord going for the quick, greedy opening. Or excuse me, greedy. Is it greedy opening to go 3 base before hatch? I'm not too sure, but this probe here is just kind of making the drones dance around, preventing him from mining on it. Super annoying. Just wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. He's going to misclick and mine something. Watch. Nope, there he goes. Oh, there he goes. How annoying can you be, man? This probe is... Oh, there he goes. Poor guy. There we go. And now he's just going to try to attack the drone. And again, from behind, there's nothing too crazy is going down from either player. Both Overlords are getting in a good position. This looks cool. That shield and the Dogs of War looks pretty bad, if you ask me. Lucky coming up to check out that there's a third base from BLord. He sees from BLord that there's 3 bases, and he knows, okay, you're going cheeky build. I need to do as much harassment to you as I can to prevent you from getting that third base up and running. What you don't want to happen is a Zerg to be on 3 bases in under 3 minutes, and then those are going to start pumping out units. They're going to start pumping out a lot of economy. We do see the Adept getting warped in with on top of the warp gate research. The Adept's going to come across the map. You're going to see as much damage as he can do. A couple queens going to be coming out from BLord. Nothing too out of the order, nothing too crazy here. Both players, Twilight Cancer and Robotics are still. Looks like Lucky might try to go again with the DT drops, but maybe this time commit to it just a little bit further, or a little bit quicker. The Adept coming in. Oh, and he faded away. Okay, I was like, where'd he go? That Adept getting at least 1 kill. Fades away just in case he needs to back away. He was going to attempt to 2-shot that drone. But here we go. I want to see what build he's going to do. Here comes the Adept. Nothing too crazy going on from either players, but Warp Gate is about to finish from Lucky, but I want to know what he's built. He's going to be making out of this robotics facility. He put a Twilight Cancel down as well. There's a couple lings going across the map. A couple warp gates finishing up, or excuse me, gateways that are going to be turning into warp gates, finishing up from Lucky. Here are the lings coming across, but there's really nothing much either player's going to do at the moment. The Adept's going to take these lings down, no problem. He's going to 2-shot them. There we go, 2 lings, no big deal. But here comes a lot of lings coming down from BLord. BLord looks like he's going to try to do his harassment that he was doing before, just do as much damage as he possibly can. There we go, that's what he's going to do. He's going to be turning his Overlord into that cocoon, which is going to make him be able to transport. And these lings are going to have, he's turning into Banes too, so he's going to have a frontal attack, and then behind it he's going to drop lings. And here we go, he's going to drop lings onto this base. At the same time, he's going to move forward and try to Bane bust this front line. We'll see what kind of damage he's going to be able to do, see if he's going to be able to distract both players. Here he comes, so lings are at the mineral line, and here comes Banes at the front, lands on top of the pylon. Great connections on the pylon, gets the Adept and forced down to the second pylon. At this time, these lings are doing so much damage. They're going to get the shroud on the pylon. DT Shrine does finish up. BLord sees that there are going to be DTs, so he starts getting nothing. I mean, if Lucky gets these pylons up, he will be able to morph in. Here we go. He's going to try to... He needs to morph in to get the DTs up and running, but these lings are just causing so much damage. He needs to get some things going. He's going to lose his third base if he doesn't get on top of this. Lucky needs... There he goes. Here goes some DTs. He's going to come in. There is no vision yet for BLord. BLord doesn't even have a lair. I don't know what BLord's going to be able to do. These DTs are going to do so much damage that it might just turn into a big giant base trade, at which point that BLord might not be able to win because of the DTs. More lings are coming across the map. Going to try to do as much damage as he can, but it looks like Lucky is going to be able to hold this. We do see, yes, there's lings here for BLord. BLord is taking out Lucky's third base, which is great. But Spore Crawler is going to be defending Lucky's main base, which is great. But these DTs need to do so much more damage. They need to take out the spawning pool. They need to do so much more damage. Lings are doing so much damage. There's almost 20 probes that got killed and only 4 drones. I mean, these DTs definitely saved the day. But as you said, there's just so many DTs here. They need to focus down the spawning pool. Spawning pool will stop the spore crawlers from being built. There's a roach warren being built here at the same time. The DTs are just trying to focus down. It gets 2 DTs. The Warp Prism does everything they can to save it. Let's see what they're doing. We gotta make sure those DTs don't get too close to the Spore Crawler. Spore Crawler's right there, giving great vision of the DTs. But again, there's no lair from up. You know, the only thing that BLord has is these Spore Crawlers. That's the only thing that's saving BLord right now. Here comes an Archon, and 2 more DTs get warped in. And my assumption is going to turn them into Archons as well. These Archons are going to save the game. BLord, excuse me, Lucky definitely needs to do some more damage. He needs to get this second base of BLord to be completely stopped. We do see the Warp Warren and Lair is about to finish from BLord. BLord is doing everything he can. More Banes are in this. So we got the Warp Prism coming in on top on this north base of BLord, and Lucky's natural is about to get Bane busted, and the mothership core is nowhere to be found, and there's going to be so much damage coming in right now. Bane, 2, 6, 10. 10 hits, but these Archons are doing so much damage. Look at the Warp Prism is getting attacked by the Spore Crawler, and these Archons are doing so much damage. These Archon really needs to turn his focus on those roaches. Here comes the roaches. Warp Prism. There's more Warp Prism needs to go down from Lucky. Transfuse goes off. Picks up the Archons. Micro him back a little bit. Gets 2 roaches. Great control from Lucky, saving both Archons. And just great plays from both players. Ah, what tremendous play from both players. Lucky needs to warp in something. He's got 0 minerals, and I completely, appreciate that. But there we go. He needs to warp in. Oh, he's warping in DTs. He's warping in DTs on top of this spore colony. I mean, he needs to get some more things going. The lair finished, and so the overlords are going to be able to turn into overseers. But here comes another Archon, Immortal, and a couple sentries. Lucky needs to keep up the aggression and stop BLord again, and here comes more Archons are going to dance around a little bit onto this base. I mean, this is going to be such great play. If you get both Archons to get as much damage, what he needs to do is get that. He's going to try to take out the Queen and maybe focus down the Spore Colony to get DTs. If he gets DTs in this, he's going to be able to do so much more damage. But he's just not warping anything. Here's warping in Zealots. Zealots are going to start being tanky as much as he can for these Archons. The Archons are just going to stay in the back and do so much damage. We do see a couple Lings attacking Lucky's main base, but that's going to be it. All of these Archons are going to do so much damage. Queen gets dropped. There's a little bit of roaches left, but here comes more DTs. Or excuse me, Zealots. Zealots are going to come in, going to do some more damage, trying to see what they could do on top of this. But again, as you can see, there's just nothing left here from BLord. BLord is trying everything he can to stay in the game, but look at all these drone kills coming down from Lucky, and it looks like Lucky is going to win this. These roaches are going to come on top of this and focus down the Archon. There is not really much left again for Lucky, but Lucky just really needs to focus down a couple more things. I mean, there's a lot of roaches in this army, and here's a huge swell of Lings and roaches for this army. And, you know, thankfully behind this, Lucky was able to take his third base. So Lucky is doing a great job at maintaining and just doing as much damage as he can to BLord. But don't forget, BLord, you know, he's still in this. He's still got 3 bases up, even though he only is technically mining out of... He's successfully mining out of 1, and he's half mining out of another. I mean, like I said before, Lucky's got a lot of bases. He is definitely maintaining. He is definitely pulling ahead. He just needs to keep up this maintain. He just needs to maintain this a little bit more and try to do as more damage as he can. This Archon's really just drop the Archon, be annoying. Focus down a drone, pick up the Archon. Focus down the drone, pick up an Archon. Focus down the drone, pick up the Archon. There we go. So, like I said, he's just trying to be as much annoying as possible. Here comes more stalkers coming into this. I mean, I don't know what BLord's going to be able to do with this army. There's sentries and mortals into this army. BLord just needs to tap out now. There's nothing he's going to do. He's losing all his overlords. He's going to be completely supply capped. And yeah, he's got more Banes coming down. BLord has Banes right here. But he's got stalkers that's going to stop. There's 3 stalkers. I don't know if they're going to move in time. The stalkers need to react now. They need to see what's going on. They need to focus down this first one. If they get this first one down, looks like they're going to be able to do it. All the Banes are actually going to come completely out of it, though. They are going to be able to focus on both of them, which is great. Now, BLord is completely supply blocked. Here comes the army of Lucky. Lucky's huge army is coming across the map. There's really nothing left here from BLord. BLord's army is a third of the size of Lucky, and there's just Archons with sentries involved with this, more stalkers, another Archon, 2, 3 immortals. I mean, this army is huge coming down from BLord. BLord, I don't know if BLord's going to be able to maintain this. Corrosive Bow going down for BLord. BLord doing everything he can. This force field's keeping his army completely back. He's going to lose this third base. Again, you have to remember he's not mining from many bases to begin with. He's technically losing his third base. It's his 4th one he made, but he did lose his main with the DT attack, and GG gets called, and well played gets called for Lucky, and Lucky takes game number 2 in this best of 5. And Lucky takes game number 2 against BLord, and what an amazing play from both players. I just love this back and forth that both players are doing right now. We saw that DT's definitely saved the game the earlier part when Lucky was playing against BLord, took down his main. He wasn't able to capitalize 100% about killing the spawning pool. We did see a lot of roaches coming out, Ravengers coming out for BLord, tried to save it, but behind it, all Lucky did was just drop Archons and Dark Templars and harass so much that he was able to build this huge ball of Stalkers and Sentry Links and Immortals, and just pushed across the map and destroyed BLord in just a super awesome fashion. So we're going to be jumping into game number 3 here shortly, and again, it's going to be the best of 5. Oh, it's been so much fun watching these guys play. Both players are just a high level play, and it's super excited to see it. And again, thank you guys so much for all you ones that have been tuning in. I appreciate it. I've been watching. I've been appreciating the new follows. Make sure you guys, of course, follow me on Twitter. I keep up to date on that, and YouTube for the new content I'll be releasing in 2017. I have a bunch of videos planned to be released starting next week, so make sure you guys tune in for that. I appreciate it so much. I'm going to be working on a new series as well, so thank you guys again so much for that. Hopefully we'll get this game going underway. Just want to, of course, thanks ESL for participating in everything that you guys have done so far. It's been absolutely amazing, and it's been so much fun. Here we go, one more time. Give me 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting this going. Ugh. I love the music. Oh, we're going to try it again with the game make. For some reason, it's not working out too well. I'm still surprised the UFC hasn't really where do astronauts go to drink? The space bar. What? Honestly, I'm surprised that the that UFC hasn't really posted any spoilers yet on Twitter. I'm kind of looking out for the spoilers and nothing. I really want to see who wins because I'm too cheap to pay for TV. Alright guys, thank you so much for being patient while we try to make these games so much. I probably should have thrown it to a break, but no big deal. We'll jump into game number 3 here shortly. If these guys could get the games going. Apparently we're having trouble making the games because the game keeps bugging out and it picks the wrong map even though they're picking it. Hey, someone got it. Anyway guys, I'm going to throw it to a quick break while we get this sorted out. I'm going to play some music. Alright guys, I'll be right back. And I guess they will really want to start this game as quickly as possible. So I apologize, you guys, that we are so far back into it. They started very quick, and I thought we were going to a break. So let's jump into it. All right, guys, this is the best of 5 finals for the ESL StarCraft 2 North American Christmas Cup. This is a specialized cup. The winner gets a specialized holiday prize at the end, and in which we will reveal at the end of the game. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I am Draven, of course. Make sure you guys throw the follow of the channel as we get more games going for you. This is the last ESL Cup of 2016, so I appreciate everyone that's been tuning in so far. Alright guys, let's get into this. Get the nameplates up. Alright guys, spawning in the bottom right position. It is the green Zerg player that just lost game number 2. It is BLord. And spawning in the top right position of Whirlwind, it is the red Protoss player from Psistorm Gaming. It is Lucky. And what a great scout by BLord. BLord goes completely straight up and sees exactly where it's at. And as the start of the game, guys, I'm sorry, I completely missed these lings, these stupid lings, and Lucky is going to be in a world of trouble. He sees the lings, he realizes he got cheesed, and I don't think Lucky will be able to hold this. I don't know what he's going to be able to do from behind this. Personally, I think he should cancel that Cybernetic score. I mean, he pulls his probes, but I don't think that's going to be. I think there's just too many lings here. I mean, what Lucky needs to do is needs to put a gateway right here. But unfortunately for Lucky, I think he's going to lose this. These lings are just doing so much damage. He needs to cancel that Nexus and get a gateway up in his base. I mean, a Mothership core is going to be out, but I don't think it's going to be out just in enough time. There goes pylon overcharge, but these lings are staying in it. They're going to attack the pylon. They're going to see how much damage they can do and actually get that pylon taken care of. And it's how super frustrating it must be for Lucky to have lost that pylon. And they go for the gateway at the same time. I mean, these lings are doing so much damage. They see the probe, and they're going to go after the pylon. I mean, this is so much damage. I'm surprised that Lucky didn't, or excuse me, BLord didn't follow this up with more lings. I mean, these probes are going to try to do as much damage as they can. Looks like they're going to kill another probe. More lings get dropped at the same time. And that's the end of the attack. I mean, that was such a good little cheese from BLord. I'm surprised he didn't really follow it up. He didn't really overcommit to it, which is good. It's a cool little old school looking StarCraft unit. Looks like one of the older Protoss units, even though it's a newer version of it. I don't know. However you want to look at it, guys. So all Lucky's going to do right now is just going to try to recover from it. He does... BLord sees that Lucky's going to take a long time to recover from it, so he's just kind of hanging tight at the moment. Cybernex Core is just now finishing for Lucky, and Lucky is going to start doing his warp gate research that he loves to do. He loves to do quick adept pushes and all that, but BLord is in such a good position. He's taking his third base, upgrading to Larry. He's not going to lose to the DTs that he lost to last time. I don't know what... There we go. There we go. That's the build that Lucky was looking for. He's behind this. He's been, like I said, he's been doing a lot of warp gate play. He's been doing a lot of adepts, DTs, Archon kind of drops, immortal ground pushes. So what he's going to do now is look at, he went for the double Stargate. He's going to just ramp up his air army as much as he can. He knows that BLord is probably expecting a ground army again. But this Overlord is going to fly right into the sea. Let's see if he's actually going to see it. The Stalker is doing all the damage he can to try to prevent it. This Overseer, once this Overseer pops, he's going to have full health again. He's going to move just a little bit quicker. So I don't know if Lucky's going to be able to stop it much longer. That Overseer is going to see exactly what he needs to see. He's going to see 2 Stargates, and he knows, okay, something's coming. More Spore Crawler needs to drop from BLord, and that's exactly what happens. 3 start getting in production at the moment, and that Overseer was a saving grace from BLord. BLord needed to see exactly what he saw, and that Stalker unfortunately wasn't able to kill exactly what he needed to kill. 2 Oracles coming across the map, and I don't think it's too little too late for BLord, but these Oracles are going to try to do so much damage to the main base army, or it's in the main base of BLord. We'll see how much damage they're going to be able to do. That Spore Crawler, though, is going to do a lot of damage. 2 drones get killed behind this, but that's just not enough. Roaches are coming in. They're going to try to attack these pylon overcharge on both, or just at least on one pylon for now. Roaches get pushed back. These Oracles, unfortunately, wasn't able to do everything that they wanted to do. Behind this, more Void Rays. I mean, if Lucky could get up, like we see the Fleet Beacon is about to finish, if Lucky could save up as much money as he can, get his supply up just a little bit greater, get 2, possibly 3 carriers, group them together, and they'll be able to do so much damage to this only ground army of Lucky. Lucky is getting the Hydralisk down, which is great, but it won't matter much against how many carriers that's 2 Stargates are going to be able to push out. These Roaches are focused down Lucky's third base. If they can get this down and they get it canceled, it'd be such a huge thing, but they get a cancel off it. Voids come in, push the rest of the army away. Here comes a couple Phoenixes floating across the map. What they want to do is they're going to try to pick off all the different overloads that they can. A lot of Hydralisks are being built now from BLord. BLord is getting 7 Hydralisks, getting the range upgrade. He knows that there's a Skytoss army coming, and he wants to do everything he can to defeat it. These Void Rays are just going to be super annoying for the time being. What they're going to try to do is just kind of hang tight in the background and just pick it off, kind of like what you would do with the Liberators. Phoenix is coming in, trying to focus down on some Overlords. Wasn't able to get that many Overlords kills, but now that here comes Hydralisk, going to be a group of Hydralisks and Roaches. And we'll see what Lucky does. He's putting the Stasis Wards. I mean, these things are so clever and so fun to play with. We'll see what happens when these Lings get caught right in the middle of it. And these lot of Hydralisks are with this army. I mean, these carriers need to come out now. I mean, he needs about 2 or 3 more carriers to defeat this army. There's so many Hydralisks in BLord's army. BLord's army just photon overcharge, pylon overcharge. Gets in one pylon and gets picked off. But there's a lot of Hydralisks in this army. Here comes Stalkers and Adepts. Here comes the Carriers to push back the rest of the Hydralisks. Adepts kind of blink forward or shade over and get rid of the rest of the Hydralisks from BLord. And BLord's army is being crushed and sent back. And those Carriers are just the saving grace that Lucky needed. You could say he was lucky for those Carriers. Wah, wah, wah. Here's a lot of Hydralisks coming out from BLord. BLord's getting 11 more Hydralisks. And I mean, there's a lot of anti-air for BLord, which is great, but I mean, he just needs way more to try to fight that huge army against all those carriers. The Spire does get down, start being built from BLord. BLord knows he needs to get a lot of Lings and a lot of Corruptors to deal with those carriers. And what he's going to do is he's going to turn those Lings into Banes, try to get rid of that ground army, trying to get rid of the Adepts, which is basically taking the damage of the Hydralisks instead of the Hydralisks focused on the carriers. 2 more carriers are being built from Lucky, and Lucky is just doing a great job at maintaining. He's defending his army really well. As you can see, BLord is only on 3 bases. I'm like, he's really not that much more ahead of BLord, but at the same time, the Spire is finishing up right in the middle, right in front of everything. Oh, here's just this is such an amazing game. Spire is about to finish. Speed upgrade for the Banelings has started from BLord, and we do see the weapons upgrade for the air. Oh my goodness, the air army of Lucky. Now he just needs to get a couple good engagements. He sees that there's so many different Hydralisks. If you check out the vision, we see that he has the Clairvoyants on top of these Hydralisks, so he knows that there's a lot of Hydralisks with this army. And what he just does not know is that there's going to be a lot of Corruptors. So in this army, he needs to start pumping out. Personally, I think he needs to start pumping out Phoenixes and or a lot of Stalkers to get rid of those Corruptors. But behind this, Lucky is feeling bold. He is feeling lucky. Okay, one pun is enough in one game. Feeling lucky. He's going to go for the 4 bases. If Lucky gets his 4th base up, it will spell disastrous news for BLord, who's only on 3 bases. As we can see, he hasn't really decided to go for that 4th base yet. I think he wants to finish it with this Hydralisk Bane army. The Bane speed's about to finish. More Roaches are coming out. More Corruptors are coming out for this army. And again, BLord is kind of showing his hand. He sees the Banes, but he's not showing the Corruptors. I don't think Lucky realizes there's Corruptors with his army, and now he sees that there's a lot of Corruptors with it. Bane's coming in, trying to attack all the Adepts. Half the Adepts get taken down, but as you can see, the Voids are focusing down the Corruptors, but the Corruptors are focusing down the Carriers, and there's only a little bit of Corruptors left, but there's a lot of Hydralisks with the army, and I don't think Lucky has enough army supply to deal with this Corruptors. He spotted the Corruptors way too late. What he needs to make is a lot more Phoenixes to deal with this, but all of the ground army is just destroying Lucky's army, and the Corruptors are just... Last little bit of the Corruptors are left, but that's basically it. BLord comes in, takes out a lot of the ground army of Lucky with his Banes, and it left his Carriers defenseless. Yeah, there's a lot of Corruptors that just got finished off. There's a few more Carriers with this, but look at how much damage was done. Mothership Core is gone. All the pylons are gone from Lucky, and just another huge swell of Hydralisks are coming, but they're gonna get caught. All these Hydralisks are gonna kill all these probes, and he's gonna get 10 probes with this. But here's another set of army coming in from Lucky. All of the Hydralisks, the Roaches, the Stalkers, probes are basically fighting with this army. 2 more Carriers dropped. There's a 3rd one waiting here in the back. Lucky does have his 3rd base. Like I said, he's kind of banking that doesn't get spotted, but it does finally get spotted, and he might be able to hold it. I don't know if BLord has the resources to keep replenishing as much as he has been. Yes, he's on 3 bases, but as you can see, he's mining out of his main base. He's only got about 600 left on that base, and he's got about almost 2,800 left on the 2nd base. We do see Lucky does get his 3rd base up and running. Got Archons in this. Lucky is just doing everything he can to stay into this fight. Like I said, he did not see this Corruptors in time. This Corruptors just made mincemeat of the Carriers. But here comes more Lings coming into this fight. Motion Core is not into this fight yet. Archons are doing so much damage. They're going to sit right underneath these Corruptors doing AoE damage. Those Archons are destroying those Corruptors. As you can see, the Hydralisks are not doing that much damage, and Lucky holds this attack again with his Archons. The Archons doing so much damage to those Corruptors. Corruptors losing a lot from being bunched up. And here's a carrier. I don't think Lucky realizes the carrier there and or a Phoenix in this army. But BLord really needs to, okay, there he goes. He's going for that 4th base now, finally. He really needs to get that going. He's completely mined out. He's only mining on 2 bases. He's about to be mined out on a 2nd base again. Lucky moves his probes all over again. And this is great that Lucky was able to secure this 4th base and haven't lost it, but he needs to maintain his position. His army supply is getting that at the same of Lucky, but Lucky's supply is steadily increasing. He's getting more and more upgrades, more and more Corruptors. Another Archon coming down from Lucky, but just look at this army supply and army count from BLord. BLord has Hydralisks and Corruptors into this. He doesn't have any more Lings. And what was the upgrades? J, H, units. I think it was G. Yeah, there we go. G for upgrades. Alright, as you can see the upgrades, we do see the Bane speed increase, but we don't see any armor upgrades from either player, except that there's the range upgrade from the range damage upgrades from the air units. And here we go. There's a lot of Archons are just doing as much damage as they can to the Corruptors, but the Corruptors are focusing down the carriers. The carriers took down, or the Corruptors took down 1 carrier, now 2. Now they're focusing down the last little bit of the 3rd carrier. All the carriers are gone, and the only thing left is Corruptors. And this Archon army with these adepts are pushing forward. They're taking down BLord's 3rd base. BLord doesn't have a main mining base anymore. He actually just got his 4th base up here in the bottom left, but he's just losing his army so badly. Here's the bile crap, whatever it's called. These stalkers aren't able to do as much damage as they can, and Lucky lost his base because of those biles. And just look at this. Lucky's just pushing forward. He's taking down all the overlords. BLord is about to get completely supply capped. More Corruptors are coming down as well, which is great. As you saw, they do quick work of buildings, but there's just really nothing left from BLord. BLord needs to get as many units out as he can, but at the present moment, he just doesn't have the minerals. As you can see, he's completely broke. He's got a lot of gas, which is great, but he only has a couple hundred minerals left. Looks like Lucky is going to just clean out that 2nd base as well. What Lucky needs to do is try to focus down that spire, get rid of these Corruptors, get rid of the main problem, and Lucky is going for the heart of BLord. BLord, this is BLord's base. This is BLord's moneymaker. If BLord loses this base, there's nothing he's going to be able to do anymore. Here comes Corruptors. They're going to try to focus down that thing again. Oh, I didn't realize he can focus it down with it still building. He's going to destroy that really quickly. Archon coming in and doing as much damage as they can to these Corruptors. And Lucky took down BLord's 4th base. BLord's not mining from anywhere. BLord has 0 drones on the map. They're fighting with it, and that's it. BLord doesn't have anything left. Last little bit of Corruptors get taken out, and then BLord loses game number 3, and Lucky gets saved with those amazing carrier timing. I'm like, that was absolutely perfect. And that was absolutely perfect gameplay from both players. Lucky did such a great job at holding off that those 2 main attacks at the beginning with those carriers. Like I said, I say this as a joke. Well, yeah, he got lucky. Puns for days. All right, guys, so we're gonna be jumping into game number 4 of this. Yeah, that is true. Alright guys, we'll be jumping into game number 4 here really quickly. I appreciate everyone that's been tuning in. I see the numbers again jumping around, so I appreciate everyone that's tuned in, that's been staying tuned in. Make sure you follow, like, host, shout out, all the good stuff. We always want to make sure that all these tournaments are getting as much views as possible. Like I said, this is the 2016 last ESL Cup of North America. The last year cup, guys. There's no more. The rest of the cups are in 2017. So I appreciate you guys so much for tuning in. It has been a blast having all you guys here, and we got a couple more games for you. This is going to be game number 4 of this best of 5. BLord needs to win this to stay in it. Let's see what is going on. Seriously though, there's no UFC spoiler right now. Nope. 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 How frustrating. So, sorry guys, we're just waiting for the games. Oh, it's live. Why is it live? I'll have to bet it's gonna make me. Weird, dumb. It said it was live. Psychic Barber. Huh. Cool. Sorry guys, I'm just waiting for the games to start up, and let's throw some music so it's not this awkward silence. There you go, finally. Games start counting down and we'll jump right into it, ladies and gents. Honestly, I'm surprised that Twitter hasn't, ruined the UFC thing yet. Of course, guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate the likes, follows, hosts. I've been watching them on the feed, and I appreciate you guys so much. You guys have been absolutely amazing and super supportive this entire time, and I appreciate you guys so much. So make sure you stay tuned. We're jumping into game number 4 of the ESL Cup. Christmas edition is the last cup of the year. Let's get it going, ladies and gentlemen. Best of 5. BLord is 1. Lucky's. Alright guys, so spawning on one of my favorite maps of Wings of Liberty, spawning in the top right position, it is our blue Protoss player. It is from Psistorm Gaming. It is Lucky. Sorry guys, I need to fix something real quick. Sorry guys, give me 1 second. Sorry, menu popped up that I had to get rid of. And spawning in the bottom left position, it is our green Zerg player down a game. He needs to win this game to stay in it. It is BLord. And look, he did see those links coming across the map, but he's already prepared. He's got this wall that's already made, and the Zealot will come out in just enough time to block it. So there's really nothing that these lings are going to be able to do. Lucky has the advantage right now, and he's going to be able to save it no problem. Here comes the lings across the map. They were trying to do as much damage as they can. They tried to beat the cheese, but they couldn't do it this time. And that wall is made. They might try to bait him out like he's doing right now. Attack the gateway and get into that center, but another Zealot is coming out, and that Zealot's going to play around with it. I mean, there's really nothing he's going to be able to do behind this. He's just trying to be annoying at this point. These Lings are just trying to do as much damage as they can to that gateway to get it down. I mean, he's doing a lot of damage to it. If he gets it, it's just going to be super annoying for Lucky. But it's not going to do game-ending stuff that BLord thought he did on the original game. Oh, what a save. And the Adepts are out and he's going to save it. I mean, there's a lot of Adepts and a lot of Zealots. I mean, if these Adepts and Zealots moved across the map, I don't know what BLord's going to be able to defend it. I mean, he doesn't really have much out. He's getting 6 Lings. They're not upgraded. They're not Speedlings. It's going to be really hard for him to defend this, I think, actually. And it's forcing him to come out with a lot of Lings. And that's less drones that he's making. So I mean, this is a huge advantage for Lucky. If he's going to get some damage done right now, this is going to be the time to do it. I mean, he just made these units to defend, and now he's going to counter BLord with the same units that he used to defend BLord's attack. Shade going up the ramp. They're going to get into the base and going to do so much damage to this. They're going to get in between the mineral lines. Drone's going to surround him, which is great. He gets 2 drone kills behind us. I mean, that's absolutely just... Gets 2 drone kills, 3 drone kills, and stops all those drones from being made because these Lings were forced to come out to deal with the Zealots. I'm like, that was an amazing play, and these sentries are going to take down this Overlord. I mean, like, BLord is just kind of like starting off on a sour foot. I don't know if BLord's just tilting or what's going on, but Lucky's is playing like in God mode right now. I mean, this is such a great matchup for him. And he gets the Overlord, and now BLord is supply capped. Here comes Lings across the map, though. I mean, I don't know what damage they think they're going to do. I think what they're going to try to do is attack that gateway again. The Zealots put themselves in a corner, and they bounce around trying to take down those Zealots, or can we take down the Lings? And the Lings wasn't able to do much. They get forced back. And BLord is kind of on his heels. He's got nothing. Like, his mining is completely destroyed because instead of building drones, he had to build Lings to stop that Zealot Adept push. But look at this army from Lucky. I mean, he's got more sentries with this and a mothership core. He doesn't really look like he's going to tech. It looks like he's just going to try to finish it here in the next few minutes and just push it. Roach Warren is about to finish for BLord, but he's got 0 defensive, 0 tech, no evolution chamber. And here comes another Overlord's about to drop from BLord. BLord's about to get supply capped again, but he does see this army coming across, so he knows that there's a lot of units coming. He needs to either put down defenses or do something. He finishes up his Roach Warren. He's getting the speed upgrade from the Roach Warren, but I mean, he doesn't have much to deal with this army. I don't think he realizes how big of the army that's coming right now. He needs to get spines. He needs to get evolution chamber. He needs something to deal with this, but he's getting a lot of roaches, which is great. But look at this army. He's got 3 adepts, 4 sentries, and 2 zealots, plus the mothership core. I mean, there's going to be so much damage that's about to get done. And he's going to try to bait him up. What he's going to do, there he goes. Baits up half the army, force fields it out. Force fields another one out again. And the Ravager could corrosive bile on top of the force fields, which is basically what he's doing. Each time he gets it destroyed, he puts another one up. And recalls out, he realizes that he wasn't going to save it. And basically what he's going to do is he's going to attack again, but this time with the Mortals. I mean, this is a huge army from BLord, and I don't think BLord wants to push out right now. BLord sees the army that he has to face against, and so BLord is sending all his units out to try to stop any more aggression from Lucky, but I don't know if that's the greatest idea. I mean, like, we do see that the road speed upgrade is about to finish, but BLord's only on 2 bases. I mean, BLord is not doing a good job trying to stay on all the bases. The Sentry is doing everything they can to spot, to get rid of this Overlord. If this Overlord gets killed, there goes the vision for BLord. Overlord gets killed, and I don't think Lucky realizes that there's an army coming to his south. Here comes the army. Force fields are going to go down, try to split the army, pile and overcharge on the main base. BLord, oh, Mothership Core! One more hit off that Mothership Core. How frustrating. There it is. He's going to have to get hit. And BLord is doing everything he can to push forward on top of this army. Corrosive Bile is landing on top of the pylon. Pylon with the pylon overcharge. This army's coming through. Force fields splitting up the army. The Immortals do as much as they can. It gets pushed forward. Immortals take a little bit of the Corrosive Bile damage, but the Stalkers and Sentries doing everything they can, but the Stalkers are a little bit weak. Mortal goes down, the last little bit of the Stalkers go down, and then BLord is doing everything he can to send more and more units across the map. As you can see, he's going for this 2-base all-in. Mothership Core is basically staying alive, and Mortals are doing everything they can to fight on top of these Ravagers. But I think that's going to be it. I think Lucky held this attack so well. I don't think he's going to be able to do anything more with this. I think BLord has to go back and re-strategize, re-figure out something to do. He needs to go onto third bases, start researching upgrades, do something. He sacrificed so much with that all-in 2-base that he's now having this huge army that's coming back for him. BLord losing his overlords. Like I said, Lucky's just been on fire with this gameplay so far. He's doing such a good job with this match, and it's just unfortunate that BLord just looks like he just didn't start off on a good foot, and maybe he was tilted from the first game, and now he's playing catch up, and he's on one base, or excuse me, he's on 2 bases, and it's 9 minutes in. I mean, as a Zerg player, you definitely don't want to be that far behind. I mean, that's just like the worst position to be in. Lucky opens up this base. He's going to take down another Overlord. He's losing so many Overlords this game. And just splitting up the army with the force fields, not really doing that much splitting as much as he wants it to do. Corrosive Battle landing on top of the sentries. They're doing a lot of great damage. BLord's doing a good job holding this off, but Lucky just has the bigger army. Corrosive Bile landing on top of most of the army of Lucky, but a War Prism's here to try to do as much damage, to try to warp in more units, but it looks like Lucky is just going to push forward a little bit more. There's really nothing left from BLord, and I think that's going to be game, and I don't know what BLord's going to be able to do with this. I'm like, he's getting more roaches out, he's got his third base up and running, but there's so much Immortals into this army. The drones get pulled, Corrosive Biles, more Corrosive Biles landing, trying to land on top of the Immortals. They do get hit, but the armor upgrade gets triggered. More Stalkers are coming in as well, but this is such a toe-to-toe race. And Lucky's pushing him so further, but he's just holding on. He's barely holding on. Lucky doesn't have that much minerals left. These Ravagers are just the last little bit of the Ravagers get picked off, and I think that will be game. And Lucky will take game number 3 in this ESL Christmas Finals. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the last matchup of the night, and it looks like Lucky is going to take the win. He beats out BLord 3-1, and I think BLord actually rage quit. There he goes, and GG gets called.